Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Mohammed Saqib and we are learning Python programming language, and probably today is the last and most important lecture in beginner's course of Python programming language. So today we are going to learn file handling. What is file handling? What are some important functions, and all these things we are going to look to in today's lecture in detail. So what is the file handling? So we need to store some data in programming. So one of the methods that we can use to store data permanently on our hard disk is file handling. It is an important part of web application. Okay, Python has several functions for creating, reading, updating and deleting files. So let's look at one by one. First function is the open function. What is the open function? As name suggests, that open function is used to open a file. Okay, so basically this function is taking two arguments, two parameters. So what are those two parameters? One of them is file name of file that you want to open, and second is the mode of opening. Okay, so mode of opening there are different modes. For example, there are 4 different modes for opening a file. If we look at one by one, we can say represent R for read, A for append, W for write and X for create. What is R mode or read mode? It is default value. Okay, if we don't write anything, that will be the default value. So if we want to open a file, open for a file reading, it's only used for reading. Okay, it will give me an error if my file doesn't exist on the hard disk. Append is a mode that's used for appending. Appending means that it creating the file and add the data in previous file. Okay, it also give me the error if the file doesn't exist. Okay, so the third one is the W for write. It is used for writing the data. It's create the file if it doesn't exist, means that it will not give me the error. Like append, it will also create the file, it will not give me error. But for read, it must be a file present on my hard disk. And last is the create. It creates the file and return an error if file does not exist. Okay. In addition to that, there are T and BT and here that also can specify that file should be handled as binary or text mode. If your file contains some text data, then you will use T as a text mode and B for the binary mode that are used for handling with the images. Okay, so what is the syntax for opening the file and reading the file? I can say F is equal to open demo text.txt. I have a file demo file.txt having some data. Okay, so what I will do, I can open it using open function, and also I can write is RT, because if I don't write RT, it default takes it as the argument as RT. So if I run it, it will be opening that file. Okay, so if there is no file in my hard disk, it will give me error. For example, let me change the name of file here. If I write demo file 7, now I run it, look, it is giving me error because I don't have this file. But if I write demo file and run it, you can see there is no error. Okay, means that my file is open now. So after opening the file, what can I do? I can read the file using read function. Okay, read function, there is a simple function. Like for opening you can use open, and for reading the data you can use read function. So if I write f.read, it will be reading all the data from the file and will print it. For example, let me run it. You can see that example is not defined. Okay, I can remove it. This is simple a comment. Now if I run it, you can see that data from file is printed on the screen. So basically there was a file containing hello world. Okay, so my file is open and now it give me the result. So there is another important function. If I want to read only some part of the file, I can read it using the parameter. If I write f.read and then I call 5 inside that function, it will read and return me the first 5 characters of the file. For example, if I run it, you can see it is only printing hello. Hello are basically first 5 characters. Okay, so to read more than lines, I can use read line function. Okay, read line function give read one by one line. Okay, and you can also use loop inside this. Okay, first I will open the file, then I can use for x in f. F is representing a file, and using this I can also print all the data inside the file. So another thing is the closing file of, there is a very good practice that you must always close the file that you have opened. Okay, so this is also simple. You can use close method, f dot close. So this will be closing our file that was recently opened by you. So you can now open the file, you can close the file. The last one is writing the file. So of course for writing there are two modes. One is A is used for appending the data to existing file, and W is used for write or overwrite the existing data. Simply I will open the file. If I'm open the file and then I'm writing something using write function, and I can close the file. And now if I open the file, I will read, you can see the new data will be written on it. If I'm running it, you can see hello world was the previous data, and now it is written. Now the file has more content. You can see all the new data. So overwriting, for overwriting you can use the W. Okay, you will use W for overwriting. Okay, and you will use A for appending. Appending means the previous data will be there, but the new data will be added using write function. But if I am writing W inside opening, while opening the file, you can see that previous data will be overwritten and there will be a new data in the file demo text. Let me run it. Okay, if I'm running, and you can see that all data is removed and only the new data has been written on my hard disk. So if I want to create a new file, I will use X, A or W. X will create a file and return error if file doesn't exist. Okay, if file exists. Okay, and A for append the data, and it will append new data. Okay, W for write, it will overwrite the file. You can see these are all the things. And an important thing that was remaining was a delete a file. That's also very easy. You will use operating system built-in function. You need to import operating system, then you need to use os.remove function to remove a file. I will write os.remove, then I will write file of the name of the file. So of course it will give me error if the file doesn't exist. I need to check it that if a file exists or not. For that I need to use the function os.path.exist, and inside that I need to use the file of name of file. Okay, so if file exists, then I will remove it. Otherwise I will say that file doesn't exist. For example, I will run it, and you can see that it's giving me the error that the process cannot access the file because it is being used by another process. Why it is giving this error? Because I have not closed the file. I need to close the file. Okay, I need to use f.close before. Okay, so if I'm using it, you can see now it is not giving me error. Okay, and it has deleted the file. If I want to delete a folder, that's an important question. There is no issue. You will need to import the operating system, then RMDIR means that remove directory. It will remove whole folder from my hard disk. Okay, that was about today's lecture. I hope you have learned from it. So keep watching it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's meet in the next video. Take care a lot. Thank you so much.